Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. It is August 13th, 2017. It is a Sunday. Now, when you're looking at the pictures behind us and as you continue to watch this article, just remember our slogan where it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. That being said, when it comes to subjects that are so ridiculous and absurd but also true, sometimes it helps to add a little bit of laughter to it. We're going to talk about chimeras, specifically the human pig one. This is one of my favorites. It's awful.
So we actually reported on this in much greater depth than I'm going to go into here.
Oh my gosh, pig's feet don't even look like that. That's like awful.
If I get a chance, I'll link to our other video, which was way more detailed. But
yes.
This is actually finally coming out. And none other than the New York Times. So, you know, when the mainstream media reports on it, then it's obviously true, right?
But of course, they will spin it. It's completely normal.
Gene editing spurs hope for transplanting pig organs into humans.
Now, I can understand they're already using like pig eyes or something like that sometimes. And so I think a lot of people would go, what's the big deal?
Well, they're actually putting DNA into piglets now.
Human!
Yes.
Human DNA into piglets.
Let me start with this article, but one of the big punchlines is that they've tried it on thousands of piglets, and so far, like, in one study, only 15 have survived.
This is cruelty to animals.
It is. No, it is.
This is awful.
Groundbreaking gene editing technology has opened the door to one day transplanting pig organs into humans. The transplant process, known as xenotransplantation, has until now been held up by the presence of porcine indigenous retrovirus, the PIRV, in pig cells, a type of virus researchers feared could be transmitted to humans. Now, however, the development of the CRISPR gene editing means that scientists can remove these viruses, potentially leading to pig-to-human transplant within the next 2 years. This isn't necessarily the chimera that they're talking about, which is literally growing these hybrid animals together. But the biotech startup eGenesis, one of the leaders in the study, said in a statement, "This research represents an important advance in addressing safety concerns about cross-species viral transmission. Our team will further engineer the PIRV-free pig strain to deliver safe and effective xenotransplantation." This is kind of the side issue. Putting pig organs into people is one issue, like you said, the eyeballs and things like that. They're actually doing things to make it so that more human-like cells and more human-like organs grow inside of pigs.
And here's the thing, we talk about this movie a lot, but it gives us a lot of what's the word that I want? Not just information, but it gives us a lot of a subject that we can draw from. And that is the movie called The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, where they grow these human twins, essentially. Right. I'm really killing myself today. Well, what is it when they did with the sheep? With the sheep, the baby and the sheep, and they did the cloning. Thank you. My gosh, I'm slow today. Here, they are doing human clones, and they use them to harvest organs for the rich and elite and famous, all right? I have to tell you, I am not some sort of PETA whatever, but there are those of you out there that are like that, and where are you guys crying out that this is so wrong? This is completely reprehensible. You do not... There's one thing to grow a pig and give it a good, healthy life like we do here on the farm, okay? Our pigs have like the best life ever. And then you honor it, you pray before you kill it, and you thank God, whatever. It's another thing entirely to put human DNA into pigs and then raise them just for harvesting the organs.
So this is the article
pigs
explaining that. For the first time, researchers have successfully grown human cells inside early-stage pig embryos in the lab, creating pig-human hybrids. While still early days...
That was the name of the sheep.
The experiment might one day lead to lab-grown human organs that could be transplanted into those who need them, potentially saving thousands of lives. In the experiment, researchers in the U.S. injected human stem cells into early-stage pig embryos. These hybrid embryos were then transferred into surrogate cells and allowed to develop until the first trimester. More than 150 of the embryos developed into chimeras, which meant that they had developed the precursor of organs, including the heart and the liver, but they contained a small amount of human cells. About 1 in 10,000 of the hybrid cells were human. This is a proof of concept experiment showing that human-pig hybrids are possible. The ultimate goal is to find a way to use these lab-grown human parts for transplants.
Can someone explain to me, though, from an evolutionary standpoint, if we came from, like, apes, why aren't they doing this with monkeys?
That's a really good question.
Because they're a lot more like us, you know.
That's a really good question. So I'm going to link to our video.
Maybe we didn't come from monkeys. Maybe we came from pigs.
Right.
You know, we have what we call the Svensson nose. Some of our other cousins have it a little bit worse than we do. And we've always kind of called it the pig nose. If you push up on it, it's a little bit pig. So maybe we did descend from pigs. Could be.
E-commerce shop store.
Sometimes it's so weird.
Just saying.
Human stem cells being injected into a pig's embryo. For the first time, scientists are seeing how our cells grow and interact inside an animal. This pig, the first known chimera.
The ultimate goal for this type of research is to whether we can use this technology to generate human teeth as organs. That's going to give us a lot of unique insight.
Right now, scientists are nowhere near that goal, but recent studies have shown how that process can work using gene editing. Scientists would delete a specific piece of an animal's DNA, so its embryo wouldn't be able to grow a heart, for example. Then they'd inject that embryo with human stem cells, which move into the void and grow a human heart. The embryo would then be put back inside the animal to develop.
The possibility of growing human cells and tissues inside animals is an exciting first step for the dream of generating tissues and organs for transplantation into humans. We're still far away.
To date, everything the researchers have done is legal, but what they're doing is highly controversial. The embryo is only being allowed to develop for 28 days. It's not allowed to be born. Bioethicists say this research raises a lot of uneasy questions.
Don't tell me that they haven't had them born.
Oh, come on. Yeah,
they're not allowed.
Non-human can become quite blurred. Also, you know, it's not great for the animals. There's risks for them. There's no benefits for them. It may help a lot of people, but the moral status associated with this is a deep, deep, deep question.
Thank you.
That word, chimera, from Greek mythology is meant to elicit fear. But the scientists argue they are trying to solve a problem and save lives, not create a monster.
No, it is kind of like Frankenstein lady.
We've all seen the movies.
And you know what else?
This is not in well. Have you seen Planet of the Apes?
Time travel. I've seen the movies Time Travel. And they go and they put them in the box and they try to send them and then, or not use time travel, but like transportation and stuff like that. Like they just put that cell up in outer space, they said that they did. I gotta tell you, man, the amount of like goo that comes back in those sci-fi movies of failure. All right, this is ridiculous. It is like a science fiction movie, and we all knew that it was going to come to this. We think that we live in some sort of apex or like the epitome of technology, whereas faxes and internet and us watching this video 100 years ago would seem completely impossible. Cell phones, like not even attached with a cord, like blowing people's minds. We're probably in the Stone Ages compared to what man can do, like building the Tower of Babel. And I always, once again, we use the same lines here at Resistance Chicks because they work. In Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum says that they were so busy trying to figure out whether they could, that they never stopped to ask themselves whether they should. create dinosaurs. And that's where we're at right now with this specific subject. They're just trying to figure out so badly whether they can, that they're not asking themselves whether it's something that they should be doing or not. And I am here to tell you that they shouldn't. I don't care if it saves lives, and I don't care if a pig's life is not equal to a human's life. You don't just, I don't care if it's rats in a lab. I said this to Leah the other day because we were talking about like Monsanto and other things. If you're testing a product on an animal to decide whether it's going to live or die or cause them to live or die, then we shouldn't even be testing that product. It's not worth it. Oh, you had it up already.
Charge anything about 2,000 a day, 10,000 a day, and people will pay it.
Sorry.
And then there's
you
the
want to cut mine
merchandise.
out?
No, I shut up after you said it.
Oh, okay.
This park was not built to cater only for the super rich. Everyone in the world has the right to enjoy these animals.
Will everyone in the world have a right to enjoy
We'll have
all organs?
a coupon day or something.
Get a coupon day for a heart.
Gee, the lack of humility before nature that's being displayed here staggers me.
Staggers
Thank you,
me.
Dr. Malcolm, but I think things are a little bit different than you and I had feared.
Yeah, I know, they're a lot worse.
Now, wait a second. Now, we haven't even seen the part of the interview.
Don't let him talk.
Let's see how these
I
hearts
want to hear a
work.
review part, I really do.
Yeah, don't you see the danger, challenge inherent in what you're doing here? Genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
It's hardly appropriate to start hurling generalizations.
If I may. I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
There you go. Stop to think if they should. And that's just the thing with a lot of these things. In what we found, like with Monsanto,
and that's again genetic splicing from one thing that shouldn't go with another. We're taking bacteria and putting it into a plant life. Bacteria is more in, for the lack of a better word, the human kind of the alive biological type cell. It's like it's a living being. Okay, a plant is not. They are never supposed to become one. What if they put plant genes in us? You know what I'm saying? It's
so
that same
all this technology has led us to a place where we're dying of cancers.
Yep.
Water is polluted with fluoride.
The technology made it so that we needed the organ transplants that they're talking about doing.
In a lot of the cases, diabetes with, you know, the sugars that they told us to eat in the 60s and 70s rather than the fats. They said fat was bad. Now we're learning that all these people are dying because of the USDA recommendations to eat sugar instead of fat. So there's a whole big thing going on. Sometimes you just need to leave well enough alone and let nature take nature's course, or because you're going to just mess things up. All
right, this is Lee Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not just a conspiracy theory. If they really are making chimeras, and they are, and they admit it. They're not denying it. It was in the New York Times. At least they're coming out like the devil with a pitchfork and horn so you can see it for exactly what it is. Like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. God holds the keys of life and death in His hands, and it shouldn't be put into ours. Bye, guys.
I was called